Chronic waste disease has been detected in captive and free-ranging deer and elk in 24 states and 2 Canadian provinces. Not all deer have CWD. For more information on chronic wasting disease, contact your local Fish and Wildlife Agency. In Florida, contact myfwc.com.
Okay, this is Cable. What's going on, Cable?
Nothing much, Coy. We're just going to show these folks how we cape out a deer the right way so you don't have to go through the hassle and the taxidermist don't have to make it harder on yourself.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. No.
So we're going to show y'all pretty much how to cape these deer out the right way.
Now, what Cable's going to show us, it doesn't matter if it's a whitetail or an antelope or a mule deer or an elk.
It doesn't really matter what it is.
This is the right way to do it.
First, you want to start right here and come all the way down this arm. Try to keep it straight. Go all the way to his arm into the pocket. Turn your blade and kind of come on up. Now, right there. Do the same on this side right here.
A lot of people, Cable, don't realize you can cut the legs like that, and they go to a lot more trouble.
Yes, sir.
You know,
right here.
But it's fine to cut them right there.
It's fine to cut.
Yep.
Because the taxidermist won't use but to about right here.
Exactly. There you go.
Come right back up to the same spot. Okay. There's a couple different ways you can do this. You can go my favorite way, because you know that it gets done right. You want to take your knife, place it in right here. Pull it in. Just be careful. Come on around. Okay.
And you can do this with it on the ground if it's a big animal. We have to, but
you can do it, and it's easier to hang it from your back legs to do.
A lot easier.
You just want to be careful not to cut this cape.
Yep. From this point on, we don't want any cuts on it. Just take your time from here, and you're gonna leave meat on the.
You'll leave meat on the cape.
That don't hurt a thing in the world.
Taxidermists rather have the meat on there than to cut the hide.
Yeah.
You just want to slowly work your way on down.
Yeah, we've made the last cut we're gonna make. Once you wring it and cut out the legs, from there on, it's like taking a sock off. You just peel it from there on down.
Take your knife, just come straight down in this armpit. Don't go too far.
Turn around this way a little bit, Cable.
Just want to go right in here.
Yeah.
Bring your knife, be careful. And you get right here, peel it off. Just like so. Yeah.
And you might nick it. Try not to. It's not the end of the world if you do, but just don't get in any hurry.
Just take your time. There ain't no rush. Just come on straight up here. Just be really careful, because when they shoot right here, it blows it apart, and it's really hard to tell where the hide's at.
Yep.
Just get it right here. Just go ahead and pull it on down. Get it to about a right level so you can see everything you're cutting.
Cable, you had any luck hunting this year?
Not too much.
You mount, you do all this work everybody else's deer, and then
I can't get enough time to go off. Just try to kill one.
helping everybody else, you don't get to shoot many, huh?
No, sir. So you want to take it, just keep on going. Just be careful right here. This is one of your most trickiest spots. Because that hide will fool you.
Yes. It doesn't peel off as easy right there on that underside.
You just want to take your time on it. Because once I peel these sides down, I'll go as far as I can in here. And I'll do this front side right here. I'll just peel it on down. And once I get it a pretty good ways, then I'll just take it and I can see it. And I'll just run my knife right here along it.
Yep.
It'll pull the hide down far enough.
And as far as how far to cut it down is, the farther you take it down, the less you have to try to put in a cooler. If you're comfortable, like Cable's taking this one down pretty far, that's fine. He could cut it off at any point now. He could leave 5 to 7 inches of neck in there. But just remember, the farther you take it down at this point, the less if you're on a trip. That's just the less.
It's going to take room up.
Yeah, it'll take more room. That's right, in the cooler.
Take a lot of room, and another thing is, you'll get more neck meat.
There you go. And really, this is the easiest part when you get to here. It's not too hard to peel it. But he's going to get to a point in just a minute where it'll just kind of be difficult to go any farther, and that's when he'll stop.
I'll take it when I get about right here, and I'll try to roll that hide down as much as I can. I take my knife, and I just make a little cut behind the neck all the way around, because the nerve, it'll make it break down just a little bit more. And a saw is the best thing to use. Or if you know how to do it with a knife, do it. But
yeah, you can't separate.
You gotta be careful with a saw because it'll go right through that hide.
Yeah. Yeah, you can separate that neck vertebrae with a knife, but if you got a little saw like that, it's so much easier and quicker.
And I don't go all the way through. I go just through the bone, and I take my knife, and I'll just go ahead and cut the rest of this off right here.
Yeah, that way he doesn't nick that hide.
No hide.
And that's a perfect cape. Any taxidermist will be glad to get that deer. That's a good job there, Cable.
See, not a whole lot of neck. It's a good cape.
Good job. All right, Cable.
Left plenty enough here. As you can see, taxidermist got plenty enough to work with.
Yep. Cable, I appreciate that, man. That's going to help a lot of people right there.
I hope it helps out. Hope people watch this and see how to cape out a deer properly.
Now that Cable's got our deer caped out real nice for us, I'm going to show you how to just continue on now to get this rest of the skin off of this head. Kind of a little small buck, but it'll work fine for what we're doing here today, just showing you how to do it. Like I say, this is the same procedure you use for any kind of deer, even elk, just like this. Now, you want to come back behind the antlers here about 1 inch, right in the center here, and cut through with your knife. And ever how much neck was left in there, you just need to kind of come down to the end of the neck. Okay, so every how big a cut you need to make. And then you make a V from about 1 inch behind the antlers here to the center of the back of each antler. Don't just cut straight down like this. If you kind of turn your knife sideways and go up underneath that hair, then whenever we go to mount your deer and sew it back up right there, it won't ever show. That hair will just lay right back in place right there. Just press down real hard and cut right up to the back of the antler. And then you just simply start peeling it down from there. You pick up on it with your knife and kind of cut upwards. The secret's to pull hard with your thumb, or your thumb and your finger here. So I'm pulling real hard with my left hand as I'm cutting up with my right hand. It's not hard to get around these antlers. You don't have to fight it. If you fight it, you're doing something wrong. Because if you're pulling just to put a little tension, and then coming up with your knife, it's real easy to get around those antlers. The ear, you cut it off right flush with the skull. So you could come way on out here with your knife, you cut the base of the ear off. So just, there's the skull right there. So it's real simple. Just cut down, stay right next to the skull. And right there's where we just cut that ear off. We did it perfect, just right next to the skull there. And we're just gonna keep working it around this antler. And we get about halfway around it and we stop for right now. Just keep bringing all this down. We'll do the other side, finish our V. Keep my knife sharp here. These little ceramic sticks do a wonderful job once you get a good edge on your knife. So remember we cut our V from here to here a minute ago. Now we're just going to finish the other side of our V. Just pick this flap up. Pull on my left hand, cutting with my right. If you don't pull, if it just won't come, you're either not cutting. You just pay attention where you're cutting. You're not just cutting blind. Just kind of watching. Be sure you're taking about a little 1/4 inch progression each time where you cut with your knife. Just you stay right on that antler, and you'll just come around and you'll meet up with where you got it from. If you didn't meet up, you just got to kind of keep working. I'm gonna carry this side just a little bit farther. Okay, so that just cleared just then right the way around. We'll take this side down now and cut this ear off. Pull with your left hand, cut with your right. Work it down, cut the ear off right flush with the skull. Okay, we got it all the way up off both antlers. And then when you peel down like this, about as far as you can, I stand him up on his nose. And you just want to go ahead and come on down the back of his neck now. You got to make that cut long enough to get it over here. That first cut we made down the back of his neck, it has to be long, just long enough to come over the end like that. And you just peel it down just where cable left off a minute ago now. We're just going to continue to go on down with it. Now fixing to come up on to an area that you can ruin the deer. You got to pay real close attention when you get to the eyes. It's a very critical area. We'll go ahead and get it far as we can. Okay. Now when you get to the eyes, what I do is stick my finger in the back of his eye, up in there. Okay? And number one is it makes me a lot more careful because I don't want to cut my finger. But technically, what you don't want to cut is this eyelid around the eye here. When I put my finger in there, I know that I've got that eyelid in my pointing finger's holding that eyelid. So long as I cut, see my finger's right here. So long as I cut back behind here, I'm still pulling my left hand. Remember, you're always pulling with your left hand. But let me get my finger back in there. Now what I'm doing is my finger's right here, so I'm cutting behind where my finger is. There's no way I'm going to cut that eyelid because I got it, see my finger right there? Now what you want to do, you want to cut through there, but where's the eyelid? See, it's way up here. And that's what you do. That's where you go through the eye area. You keep all that eyelid pulled forward. And then right in front of the eye is what we call the tear duct. It's an area where that skin grows real close to the skull. Now I'm not real particular about cutting that. I don't mind. Some taxidermists don't want that cut. So just be real careful, make little short cuts right here in front of the eye. Because you'll sure cut through right there. The reason I go ahead and cut it, my theory, what I've noticed over the years, is that'll crack in there if you don't just go ahead and cut it and pin it in place. So I cut it and just put some wax in there. And you never know it was cut, but that way it'll never crack open over the years. And we're just going to come down the other side the same way. There's our eye socket starting. Put my finger in there, back of the eye. Stay away from my finger. Just cut on through. See, all the eyelids pull forward. Catch up with the back of the neck there, bring it on down. To make a little short stroke right in front of that eye for about inch and a half. And you'll get past that tear duct. You'll see this first time you get what I'm talking about. You just want to clear that area right in there. It's just an area where it grows real close to the skull. Now the next thing, right in front of the tear duct, you're gonna start seeing the teeth. That's where the mouth is. Now you do that the same way that you did the eye. You want to stay back as you cut through, so you won't cut some of the gum off. Okay, we're gonna get in front of the eye right here. And then, see the gum is right in front of the eye right there. And what you do is just pull them with your left hand again and just go ahead and cut straight in. And you'll see his teeth. And just work it on down. And you'll carry it about 2 or 3 inches down there where you're seeing his teeth, just working on down toward the nose for another 2 or 3 inches. Trying to keep it where you can see it, and it gets awkward sometimes. So there we go. We've got it cut down now about 2 inches from the eyes. Now what you do is you turn it over. Take his bottom lip, and we're just going to cut the bottom lip and the top and the nose loose right here. Just cut right along that gum line, right below the teeth. And just peel it down. And you'll come to where we left off a minute ago. Okay, that's got the whole bottom lip loose. Now when you cut off the nose, you'll take a big old chunk of meat off from the nose to about 1.5 inches up this way. You're just going to kind of scoop out a place. You want all that cartilage. Go ahead and cut along the gum line, top of the teeth. But you want to just cut down. You got about 1.5 inches of cartilage you want to take off with that nose. Because if you don't cut down here for at least 1.5 inches, you'll cut off some part of the nose you don't need to cut off. And then after about 1.5 inches, you'll hit bone again. And then you'll just finish skinning to where we left off, coming down from the top. Okay. Okay, let me saw these horns off now. Okay, you could saw these off with a handsaw like we had before. I cut off so many of these. I usually use my jigsaw, but there's really no certain way to cut antlers off. You just want to be sure you leave enough of the skull. Cut about an inch, inch and a half in front of the antlers, and then the same thing behind it. We're just gonna come to a V here and get them off. Now, with this chronic waste disease, transporting this, if you want to do a European on this for some reason, you cut off that neck as far as you can up there, and then you cut a little hole in the back and get the brain out. And check to be sure, but when we went elk hunting in Colorado, they told us that was the legal way to bring them back, because a couple of boys want to do Europeans. So that's what we did. We cut the necks off up real close, and we got the brains out, and what meat was left on there, that was fine. But let me cut these antlers off now. Just be sure you leave, inch or so of skull up underneath, here too. Don't cut too close to the burr right here. We need at least an inch of skull plate here. If you want to be safe, stay 2 inches behind, inch and a half in front, and inch and a half up underneath there. That's what you do. Cut the antlers off. Now, once you've removed the cape off of your deer, you'll want to get it chilled as soon as possible. So if the weather's real hot where you're hunting, go ahead and make plans ahead of time. Some way, hopefully you'll have access to a walk-in cooler or somebody's refrigerator or freezer. But if it is a true wilderness hunt, have some ice with you. And open this cape up when we take it off, with the skin side, get some ice on it. You can't just wad it up now when it's hot, because it'll take that center forever to chill. But figure out a way to get this thing cooled down real quick. And try to keep it dry, and then keep it on ice. And it'll keep 3 or 4 days if you had to keep it in an ice chest, if you keep it dry. But get it chilled down as quick as you can. Hopefully the weather will be cooler. Usually during hunting seasons, the weather is cooler, which makes it a whole lot easier to take care of these things. And removing these capes is not very difficult if you've had a little experience, with skinning deer or cleaning fish or whatever. But if you get a chance, most deer processors can get you a doe or a small buck or something. Be a great idea to practice, on caping it, to get around the eyes, get the ears off. If you just can practice on one before you work on your trophy, you'd be way ahead. And also the transporting procedures I've told you about will work on anything, whether it's a fish or a duck or a deer, it doesn't matter. Just I think I've already mentioned it to you, but if you can get all the air space out of the cooler with like I said, orange life jackets, if you know what I'm talking about, or any kind of a foamy substance, or even blankets, paper, anything to take out that airspace. If you put a bag of ice in there, it'll just keep twice as long if you take all the airspace out of the cooler in transporting. And I think that's about it, and good luck on your next hunting adventure. And just remember that good field care will produce a nice mount.